Welcome to Boots, Bovril and Bother. And today I'm very proud to be talking to a man who is possibly a world record holder, but I don't think he's aware of it even. And I Googled it yesterday just to see whether anybody in history has attended more World Cups than you, Gordon Messino. And I couldn't get anything, so I think I'm going to call
Well,
Ross McGuirter, if he's still alive, at the Guinness Book of Records and see if we can get you in there. How many World Cups have you been to?
well, this is going to be my 13th when I fly off next Monday.
Oh,
And
goodness.
I think we should temper it slightly because there probably are some broadcasters that may have done that many. I'm meeting one next week in Mexico City. We're doing a little thing on 66, courtesy of British Embassy and some other people out there. Keir Radnage, who
Yes, know the name.
yes, he's I mean, he was at 66, and I don't know if he's been at. I know he hasn't been at everyone since, nor have I been at everyone since. But broadcasters may have been to as many, if not more. But
Because World Cups, for a football fan, World Cups act as a landmark
yes,
along the journey of life. You know, we can't remember all our birthdays. We can't remember all our Christmases. But for some reason, we can remember all our World Cups and our
absolutely.
Olympics to a lesser extent.
I've been to about 6 of those, by the way.
Olympics,
Yes,
right? Yeah, but you see my point. First of all, it happens every 4 years, and there are always a great many flashbulb memories from each World Cup, and to a certain extent, each Olympics as well. The thing is, at a World Cup, we have an allegiance given to us.
yes.
We don't necessarily have the allegiance of Sebastian Coe versus Steve Ovett, if that's what it is, or David Hemery against the world at Olympics. But at a World Cup, if we manage to qualify, we know who we have to follow, support, cheer for, and feel heartbroken about.
Yes.
Eventually. Talk me through 1996. Did you, like me, assume we were going to win because, after all, we are England?
66.
66,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I assumed we were going to win because I turned 12 during the tournament, and of course England were going to win. I mean, why was there any doubt about it, you know?
That's correct.
Everybody assumed we were going to win. And in fact, I was looking through a football monthly, and I'm nerdy enough to have an almost complete collection of football monthlies. And I was looking through the one just preceding the World Cup, and even the ultra-conservative Charlie Buchan's Football Monthly said, "It's England." The headline was, "It's England," which was quite something because the twice defending champions, Brazil, were coming to town, hadn't lost a World Cup match for 12 years. They still had Pelé at he was only 26, peak of his powers. They still had the fabulous Garrincha, probably not quite at the peak of his powers. And they had a whole supporting cast that, you know, looked pretty good on paper. And so to have England as the favourites was quite something.
Sir Alf said, didn't he, about 3 months or maybe more before the tournament, England will win the World Cup.
3 years.
He said it like that.
3 years before.
3 years before?
Yeah.
England will win the World Cup, he said.
Yeah. This was just after being hammered by France in his opening game.
Yeah.
As a manager. Now he stuck his neck out all right, and he did it.
I worked in South America, in Peru, and then in Mexico, and then in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, through the 70s. And all the talk was about football. And there was a consensus among most of the Peruvians, Mexicans, definitely the Brazilians that I talked to, who were congratulatory of the fact that we fixed it. Good for you. what we do.
Yes.
Well done. You fix. You know, the Ratin sending off,
Yes.
the goal that
yes.
possibly never was, the fact that Brazil were kicked off the park by Hungary and Portugal.
Yes, that was very
And
sad, actually.
And they were all English officials.
Were they?
Ken Dagnall, yes.
Oh, right.
Ken Dagnall refereed the Hungary game where the Hungarians gave Brazil a kicking, and a bloke called George Maccabee
Wow.
refereed the Portuguese game where Pele practically had his leg broken.
Yes, he did.
After a double two-footed tackle. And not only was George Maccabee the referee, England, Ken Dagnall was the linesman.
God.
Now, I'm not saying that they colluded in any way, but I do think it's interesting that Ken Dagnall refereed the FA Cup final the following year,
Right.
and George Maccabee got to referee the FA Cup final the year after that. So I'm not saying that there was anything cahootish about it. And of course, the chairman of FIFA at the time, president rather, was an Englishman.
Sir Stanley Rouse.
Correct. So you can see how in the bars and clubs of Rio de Janeiro, if the conversation turns to football, they'll quickly say, well done, you did a good job fixing that World Cup.
I mean, the memories I have from a very, very sad picture of Pele getting carried off.
Yeah.
If you remember, not on a stretcher, but it was sort of his bum was being supported, and
yes,
he was being carried from the pitch. I do remember Garincha scoring a brilliant goal in the first game against Bulgaria, free kick. He just bent it around the wall as though the wall wasn't really completely irrelevant. Bang.
He was a magician, wasn't he? A magician
of a player. I also remember that wonderful goal. I mean, Hungary could kick, but they could play as well. That goal that Farkas scored, where Florian Alba crossed it from the wing, and Farkas just came in and hit it on the volley from the edge of the area. Just flew past the Brazilian keeper. So, tremendous talent. And then, of course, the surprise packet were Portugal, because nobody had really considered them before the tournament. They should have done, because Benfica had won the European Cup a couple of times, 62, 63, So they had the players, and they did Eusebio, and they had...
he wasn't bad, was he?
Wasn't bad. They had a gangling centre forward, Torres. Very, very good couple of midfielders.
And they had a Portuguese Bobby Moore at the back as well, a bloke called Coluna. Coluna, captain, I think.
Yeah, Coluna at the back.
Big barrel-chested fella, you had to get a bus to go round him.
And they also had, I think, a 19-year-old Jaime Graça in midfield.
Right.
It was a bit of a revelation. Flying wingers, Chimosh and August.
So when you take away your personal memories of being at all these matches in 1966, do you have any other sort of flashbulb memories? Because I was enchanted by North Korea. Was it North Korea or South Korea?
North Korea.
North Korea. Pak Duik and
Han Bon-jin
and so forth. Yes.
Yes. Those are the only two
rooting...
I know.
Oh, well, yeah. But they did so well. I was rooting for them. Didn't they go 3-0 up against Portugal?
The story was because in those days nobody thought to. So I was at Wembley for the quarter-final against Argentina Saturday, 3:00 kickoff, gloriously hot day, and nobody had thought to put the Portugal-North Korea game later in the day, so it was being played at the same time. And suddenly it comes up on the screen, Portugal 0, North Korea 1. Crowd.
Yeah.
Portugal 0, North Korea 2. Crowd. What? Then Portugal 0, North Korea 3. The place erupted, Nobody was paying any attention to what was going on the pitch. Place erupted, and it was like, And then, of course, reality and Eusebio kicked in.
Yes.
1-3, 2-3. Just after half-time, huge groan, 3-3. and then the inevitable 4-3, 5-3.
Yeah.
I think Eusebio scored 4 in that game.
It was the first time I ever saw a player who'd scored a goal run into the goal, pick the
Yes,
ball
remember
up,
that?
and run
Yeah,
back to the
very
run
straight,
back to the
very
halfway line.
serious face, very serious
Very
face. Go on.
come on, let's get this.
He was a good
Let's get
player,
going
Eusebio. Very, very good player.
What did you think of Lev Yashin? Because he's something of a legend, and I think he was there in '66.
He was there. He was there. In fact, the only game my mum ever watched in her life was when she came with me to the 3rd and 4th place playoff when Portugal played Russia, and Lev was in goal for Russia. He couldn't, thankfully, couldn't prevent Portugal winning. So Mum very happy, me very happy. So I did see him play. I mean, everybody knew who he was, the Black Panther. He had, he wore black and he was big. I can't remember him doing anything sensational in the game. But yes, he was a big presence,
Yes. I think the closest thing we've ever had to a Lev Yashin in modern times would be Schmeichel, who also was big, spread himself, did that starfish stop thing. So, you were likely to hit him rather than him save the ball. And Yashin had a bit of that, but also Yashin had a bit of charisma on the pitch, and he was the first superstar goalkeeper I can remember.
He was.
Gordon Banks was a lovely goalkeeper, possibly better than Yashin.
Oh, yeah.
But we used to sing at Fulham, actually. Aye.
That's it.
Macedo is better than Yashin. Clark is better than Eusebio. And Villa are in for a thrashing.
Yeah,
Very cheesy.
Substitute Jennings and Greaves, but we did that at Spurs
you had to
as well.
say,
yeah, Jennings and all that. Yeah, but
we must do one on crowd
chants.
Choirs, yes, choirs.
Yes. We could get.
We're talking about.
Yeah, World Cup.
I was going to say we're talking about World Cups. Let's move on.
Let's move Mexico. I mean, I didn't
Mexico.
go. I didn't go.
No?
I was only 15/16.
No, you couldn't get there. No.
Coming up.
How did you feel then when Beckenbauer put it through Peter Bonetti?
Well, there was a growing sense of inevitability. That was the first goal. That was the first goal.
Yeah. All right. Well, when Gerd Muller
got
that
the third. Yeah. Oh no, I was in tears. I think. I mean, we were 2-0 up and cruising. We had a better team than in '66. We had the tank playing instead of Nobby Stiles. I mean, dear old Nobby's a very, very good player, but he didn't have the all-round dynamism
was very special.
as Muller's. We had. I mean, he was criticised for bringing on Colin Bell and Norman Hunter, but I mean, come on, they're good players.
That's not bad, is it?
Good players to bring on for Peters and
Charlton.
You're
8,000 feet up. There's no air. The players are going to be knackered after 65 minutes.
Now, did you see
the heat?
Did you see the article in the Observer about not this last Sunday, the Sunday before, claiming that Banks was poisoned by the CIA?
The CIA?
Yes, one of the more extreme conspiracy theories. And the guys said, I didn't believe it, but I'm starting. Because they wanted to guarantee that Brazil would win the tournament, and because they were propping up a Brazilian unpopular dictator. And in their infinite wisdom, the Yanks thought, well, if Brazil win the tournament, this dictator will be popular, which it actually turned out to be true. We'll last a bit longer. And so they had targeted, according to this report, Banks as the key man for England, having seen that save he'd made against Pele in the group game. And Banks himself, and I'd met him a few times after that, he was reluctant to talk about it, but he always thought there was something strange going on because he was the only one who caught anything.
Yeah.
And they all ate the same food.
Symptoms? Was it just a stomach disorder, or was it greater than that?
it was, I think, a bit greater than that. He said he drank a bottle of beer and he immediately felt poorly and started throwing up and going to spiked, possibly.
Right.
So
Right. Possibly.
So yeah, that was not a happy memory, but I do want to focus on the fact that it was completely unnecessary because that Brazilian team was the greatest team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I am to this day convinced they picked the 11 best centre forwards in Brazil, and then said, "Felix, you're the worst of this. You go in goal, and the next 4 you go in defence." You know, and
They
so
were
the
a
best.
small. They were quite a small team. Apart from their centre half, who was a good 6-footer, they were all 5'6" and 5'7" and 5'8".
Yeah, they could play though.
Tostão was nothing of him.
Nothing.
Rivellino there was nothing of him either. He was 5'7".
But he was built like a bull. So was Jairzinho.
Oh, tree trunk thighs.
But if anybody wants to see the brilliance of that team, they should just go on YouTube and look at the 4th goal that they scored against Italy, whereas every member of the outfield touched the ball in that move.
Yeah.
And there's a bit in the middle where Clodoaldo, hugely underrated midfielder compared to Gerson and Rivellino, hugely underrated, but a brilliant footballer. He just dances round about 4 Italians before laying it off. So I've had enough of this. I'll give it to Gerson now. See what he can do. And then it goes from one side. Gerson puts it out to the left and knocked back. Jairzinho drifted out to the left. Brilliant ploy. Left a huge space on the right. Comes across to Tostão. Comes across to Pelé. Pelé looks at the goalkeeper and then just side foots it with the outside of his right foot. Carlos Alberto comes in and bang. I mean, what a way to... And he was the captain, to win the World Cup. In that World Cup, England... Brazil never scored fewer than 3 goals in any game except for the game against England.
Yeah. I played a bit of football when I was in Brazil. If you wanted to get a game of beach football, it was organised, but it was loosely organised. And what you had to do was go and stand on the touchline. Right. The game went on all day, but the personnel playing changed. So you would stand on the halfway line and somebody would be going back to work or whatever. And somebody would go, "Oh, him, you, the European guy. Let's see what he's got."
Yeah.
So on I ran. And it's played on dry sand, and you can't dribble the ball on dry sand. You have to keepsy-upsy it and run keepsy-upsy. And I can't do 3 keepsy-upsies standing still. So I was screwed. Yeah. But what I remember most of all is this. They could go past me as if I wasn't there. I didn't stand a chance. But that wasn't the end of the ignominy. As they went past you, they'd give you that. They'd give you a stiff arm, a forearm smash for having the very temerity to be on the opposite team. What I'm saying is they were very, very skillful, but they were also hard, tough guys.
Yeah.
And these were just waiters, office staff.
Was this Copacabana or Ipanema?
Yes, it was. It was exactly Copacabana. Yeah. And you'd mentioned the Brazilian president. I do remember being on Copacabana Beach where, amongst other things, I don't know how the girls managed to get away with wearing 2 pieces of dental floss and nothing else.
Yes,
but anyway, at one point, everybody stood up and started booing. 50,000 people crammed onto this huge, long beach, and they're booing. And I said, what is going on? And what it was the president was going past in a motorcade. Their hatred for their own president was palpable, it was substantial, it was tangible. But that's Brazil because everything is magnified and overheated and exorbitant. It's brilliant.
I've only been to Brazil once, and that was in 2014 for the World Cup, where I don't think things had changed much in terms of Copacabana and Ipanema, and it was just full of football and beach volleyball.
Absolutely.
Amazing sight, really, where they're just the country produces footballers from nowhere because of this great. They all still play out in the street. They all still play
Well,
out on the
there's no
beach.
organised junior
No.
football
No.
in Brazil, and I've been involved in junior football all my life.
Yeah.
And when I came back from Brazil, I decided to try it their way. So I set up a junior football setup, and it got very popular. 120, 150 youngsters, boys and girls, able-bodied and disabled. Nobody was turned away on merit. But I would say to the dads, just leave them to it.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of cones out, put a bunch of footballs out, and let them organise it. And they did.
Yeah.
They would pick up teams. I discouraged that thing about, where the least
Yes.
favoured kid was the last one to be picked. I'd got them to do it on things like surnames or birthdays, that sort of thing. But it was just very popular because all I wanted to do with them was have them play football. I didn't want them doing sit-ups or practicing the offside trap or anything like that. I wanted them to do what I'd seen all these Brazilians kids do, which was just play street football. And
Yeah.
you mentioned Garrincha. According to
Yes.
one of his biographies, he still would go home after the game and and go out and play street football, on a rocky
Yeah.
building site or somewhere, because that was his comfort zone, just kicking a ball around. And I think somehow clubs in Brazil hear about players who are playing street football down the road or on the
Yeah.
beach and go and have a little look and give them a go. I mean, Pele was the same. He wasn't
Yeah.
coached or given a playing organised junior football, but somehow he was spotted. So I guess there's some sort of grapevine that
Yeah.
helps pick out the lads who've got the potential.
And one of the key things you said there, they don't have parents standing on the sidelines shouting at the kids to do, oh, go on, get
Yeah.
stuck in, track back,
Yeah.
do this, do that. Oh my God, that's just
Yeah.
uh,
Actually,
anathema.
I've got. I took the exam and became a qualified
Oh,
referee
you've got the, yes, very
a
good.
long time ago. And I was
Middlesex.
classified. Sorry.
Middlesex.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
And I was classified as a youth referee, and I had to referee a season of junior football matches before I could move up to men's games. I gave it up
Yeah.
halfway through. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. The bile that was coming from some parents,
Yeah.
sometimes the mums, and
Yeah.
bad language, bad attitudes. I heard one bloke say to his own son, "Come on, Colin, you're milky."
Oh, God.
Loud as you like, in front of
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
And so I keep this as a souvenir. And luckily I didn't turn into Ken Dagnall.
No. I did love going to Brazil, though. I mean, you will know this better than me, but during that World Cup, if you got in a cab, you risked your life even more than normal, because the bloke was watching a game on the telly in the,
Yes.
he was on the phone watching the game and somehow managing to drive. I don't know how you'd do it, but no accident. He just, he'd get there. He'd get to wherever we were going.
Well, it's Brazil. He took you the long way.
Yeah, probably, but it was peanuts anyway. But I did enjoy Sugarloaf and
the cab that
Statue
I
of
took to the
Christ.
Maracanã, I got in outside the hotel and I said, El Maracanã, please. And the bloke went, honestly, he went, that's a good idea. I'll come with you. And he did. He did. He parked up next to the Maracanã and came and sat and watched the game with me.
Brilliant. Well, of course, now
there were
go on.
I was going to say there were 60,000 people in the Maracanã and it seemed deserted.
Mm.
And at half time, there was this mass of people running from one end to the other through the crowd. Several thousand, it looked like to me. And I said to the taxi driver, what's that in aid of? Oh, he said it's a mass mugging.
I see.
which is a secondary sport
Oh.
in Brazil.
Th-
Robbing somebody of their watch or their money is just
uh,
what happens, and nobody makes a big thing of it.
yeah,
So
I
I
got.
was glad to get home, actually, and because
Yeah.
I found it a bit tumultuous, frankly,
Well,
for
I
me, Rio de
went.
Janeiro.
I went, as I say, in 2014, and they've sanitized it a bit because they've redone Maracanã. And I think it only holds about 80,000 or something now.
Oh,
It used to
right.
hold God knows how many. And of course, you can get to it by
250, I read.
yeah, you could get
one
to it
time.
by tube now. So they've got a
Oh,
brand spanking new tube line. So a cab driver's very annoyed, I'm sure, at all that. So we went by
yes.
tube, but it's always been my dream to go there. And we went to see Colombia versus Uruguay in the round of last 16. And the
A
game
bit of
was,
needle there, I'd have thought. Bit of needle.
yeah, that was that fabulous goal by James Rodriguez when he sort of bicycle kicked it from about 20 yards out,
Oh, yeah.
sort of horizontally. And on the basis of that, he got transferred to Real or somebody for zillions of pounds. He's now plying his trade in Minnesota United in the States, but has been picked for Colombia's World Cup squad. So he's going to be
Good luck
there.
to him.
He's going
Good
to
luck
be
to
there.
him.
So
Where does your
that
sojourn start in this World Cup that's coming up? Where do you start?
Mexico
New York?
City, Mexico
Oh,
City.
Mexico City. Okay.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Azteca, and so we're going for the first game, Mexico versus South Africa. But sadly, I found out that the promise of tickets has fallen through. So if any of our listeners know of any tickets that are going to this game, so we'll go on the off chance that we can pick up some tickets on the day.
Yes.
If not, and I'm heavily reliant on England winning their group, which is by no
Yeah.
means a guarantee. Their last 16 game, projected last 16 game, if they win the group and get through the last 32, is in Mexico City, projected to be against Mexico. Yeah.
Ooh, home
And I've
advantage.
definitely got tickets for that, should we get there. But I mean, England's chances of winning in the group, I think, are not particularly good because we're in a good group. I mean, Croatia are no
No.
mugs, and that's the first game. I predict that game will be a draw. Neither team will want to lose. Then Ghana, who knows who'll turn up for
Who
Ghana?
knows?
Semenyo, very good player. And then Panama, who are ranked 23rd in the world. I mean, if you add up the coefficients of our
Yes.
group, it's the toughest group. So
Yes. Is
But
it? I haven't done the paperwork on this World Cup in any great depth. Are Cape Verde there?
they are
Do
there.
you happen to know? They are there.
They are
A
there.
collection of desert islands.
Yes.
With
Well,
about 7,000, population less than Portsmouth.
it's a pretty small place. The smallest No, it's not the smallest, I think it's slightly larger than Iceland in terms of population, which isn't saying much. But so they're there.
No.
Curacao are there. Curacao.
Would you be surprised if I told you that England are with the bookies, the big bookie,
Third
the
favourites?
third favourite?
It's astonishing. God knows why. I mean, you
Third
can't.
favourite?
Yeah, I know.
After Spain and France?
Yeah. Before Argentina, before Germany, I think sadly are going to be quite strong. And of course, if you look at the squad, the most talented squad of the lot, my second team, Portugal. Fantastic. I mean, 4 of those players were involved, thankfully, in beating Arsenal on Saturday. Recently in the Champions League. They're a fabulously talented squad. Their only problem.
Why have your because you're half Portuguese, aren't you? By heritage,
full Portuguese.
Full
Yeah,
Portuguese.
Yeah.
So I can't explain this, but I want to hear you have a go. why have they underperformed at an international level throughout, really, since the dawn of football? Portugal has never punched its weight, whereas at club level, they've been able to hold their own, more than hold their own, and win Champions Leagues and various things.
Well, they did win the Euros in 2016.
Okay.
I think you're forgetting that, but they did win them.
Yeah.
And
But they should have won more.
They were beaten finalists at home in 2004 when nobody, and I mean nobody outside of Greece, saw Greece winning that tournament, which they did. I mean,
Mm.
that was one of the most outrageous wins of all time. But I think in the last 20 years, I'll give you a one-word reason why they've underperformed. Ronaldo. That is the reason. He sucks so much attention.
Yeah.
So much attention, demands so much from the team that they never perform. And significantly, in 2016, he either missed the final through injury or was injured very early on and had to go off. And they played much better without him. Much better.
Yeah.
Their other problem is that they are in a similar position, especially this year, to what England found themselves in 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, the midfield, they've got Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, Jorge Mendes, is it? Somebody Mendes. I mean, they've got some fabulous players, but can they all play in the same team is the question. So, I think
it's a Lampard-Gerrard. It's a Lampard-Gerrard situation.
Yeah, well, especially Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes.
Now it's come into my mind. I'd like to get your take on why that Sven-Goran Eriksson England side, which had 10 of the 11 were certainly World Cup winning potential, and Rooney had just arrived.
Who's the 11th, as a matter of interest?
I'm trying to remember. I went through it the other day, and I thought, no. Seaman was.
Okay.
Was it Ashley Cole at left back?
Probably, yeah.
And then you got Terry and Ferdinand in the middle at the back.
Gary Neville.
I think it's Gary Neville. I decided wasn't.
Right. Okay. Why?
But then you go through a team.
I mean,
so why didn't they do it? Was it off the pitch?
No, because they really, really had to choose between Gerrard and Lampard, and put Scholes in the middle. You can't play Scholes on the left wing. And that's just it's utter bonkers. He's one of the best players. Was he there? 1998. Certainly, one of the weak links was Graham Lasso at left back.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was slightly before the Sven-Goran Eriksson 2002.
Should we turn our back on Channel Island? Should we turn our back on Channel Island footballers?
Well, not
as a Portsmouth fan, I have a vested interest in that.
Not necessarily. I think Matthew Le Tissier was ill-used by England. We'll have a separate one on Mavericks that really should have played a lot more.
Yeah.
I think Graham Lasso was a sort of quite honest club, very good club player, but in this game against Romania, he was a disaster, and Romania beat us in the qualifying, and so inevitably we didn't finish top of the group. And
so what do you think is going to happen to England in this World Cup coming up then, bearing in mind that some people will be watching and listening to this sometime afterwards, so be cautious about your predictions.
What I think is encouraging is that Tuchel. I'm not a huge fan of foreigners managing national teams. France never do it. Spain never do it. I'm not sure why we should do it, but anyway, Tuchel, I think, at least knows his mind and has picked a squad based on the famous 2 players for every position as opposed to 5 players for number 10. So, he's left Palmer at home. He's left Foden at home. That may come back to bite him off the bench, but not for starters. I think his starting side will be fine. I would have taken personally Trent Alexander-Arnold and probably Jared Bowen, but hey, I'm not the manager, so I think he knows his mind. I think a lot depends on whether Harry Kane can stay fit,
Yep.
whether Reece James can stay fit, because they're very thin on cover in both of those positions. And Reece James is a terrific player when he's fit, but he's fit a quarter of the season.
Right.
So I think if they can preserve them all fit, if Bellingham isn't too disruptive, because I don't think Bellingham's going to start. I think Morgan Rogers is going to start. Then they can go deep. I'm hoping they'll get to at least the quarterfinals. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
if they don't win it, who do you think is the most likely?
I think the most likely team, and I would be really hoping for Portugal, but because of Ronaldo and Martinez being a weak manager, I think it'll be Spain.
Yeah.
I think the problem with France, fabulously talented, but they've got to be together for 7 weeks. And I can't see, Mbappe kick off against somebody and somebody else will kick off against somebody else. Rabiot will go off in a huff. This is what I'm hoping. Mateta will down tools and it'll all be down to Dembele. But I mean, what a forward line they've got. But I think that their problem, and the defense is, I think the defense is a little bit creaky. I think Saliba's sort of aura of invincibility has been dented a bit the last bit of this season, although Arsenal haven't conceded many goals. And Upamecano, well, blimey, come on, Tony Adams there, isn't it?
Are you saying that the French might get on each other's nerves?
Well, I'm hoping that that's going to happen in a very big way. What do you think? Who do you think are going to win?
Well, obviously, I hope that we go all the way because,
yes.
Some people have said to me, you're not a great follower of the England football team, are you? And I'm not. But I always reply, well, as long as we're in it, then I've got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I've got a reason to get some Peroni in the fridge on standby. So I hope we go all the way. I would love us to get to the final. The excitement that would bring the nation and, we'll get all those flags of St. George fluttering on the builders' vans and everything. And that all adds to it. But I can't get past the fact that there are teams like Germany lurking.
Yes.
Who know how to win.
Yes. Well,
I've heard
they haven't in the last couple of World Cups, but yes,
no. But what Gary Lineker said, I always remember. He said,
"Yes,
football is a game played between 22 men, and then the Germans win."
Yes, we all run around trying, and then Germany win. Yeah.
Yes,
they're not quite like that,
but I'm hoping that there are some. I'm hoping there are some momentous moments.
Yes,
in games that I don't care about. A 50-year-old player for one of the African countries scores a goal and does a dance around the corner flag.
Well, I have tickets. I have tickets for Brazil versus Haiti in Philadelphia. You've disappeared, Tommy, so I don't know what's happening. On that basis, I think we should end the podcast. It's being uploaded.